We're sequencing 8 steps, and we're sequencing 8 more steps for a 16-step sequencer. Which I will do at some point when I'm done being frustrated about the 8-step one that took me forever to do. What's up, everybody? My name is JoeyJetts, the mind behind Jettsette. Okay, so it wasn't really like frustrating to do, you know, it was actually a lot of fun. There were some frustrating parts. It was more or less just trying to figure out how I was going to maneuver everything around in the casing that I'm putting it in, because I'm not building this sequencer in a box. No. I'm building this in like an old play school, like children's hammered screwdriver workbench thing. It's hot in here, man. It's really friggin' hot. So anyway, so yeah, so this case that I had built the sequencer into, I had originally planned on using it for like, just a casing for like a circuit bend, right? So if I'm circuit bending something, instead of keeping it in the original toy that it was in, I thought, oh man, cool, I could just take this out, rebuild the circuit with all like the pots and everything, into a new casing, basically, is what I was saying. But today I am really excited because I usually do a lot of work on a lot. So anyway, so one that I've been working on for like a while now is the 8-step sequencer. Pretty easy circuit. It's not, you know, it's right around there with the Atari Punk console as far as, you know, rough beginner circuits go. Once you can do the Atari Punk console, you can do an 8-step sequencer. Better to start with 4 steps, which I did not do because I did not anticipate. One thing that I did not take into consideration when I started, you know, because I was just so excited to make like an 8-step sequencer, was that I would have to wire 8 of everything. That's 8 pots, 8 friggin' switches, 8 LEDs, friggin'... I combined it into 2 circuit boards thinking I was being slick, and I probably was. I think it saved me a lot of trouble in the long run because I don't really have a large enough regular board, really, to fit all of the crap that goes into it. Let me show you what I got. So I'm still working on it. I have a couple more kinks I have to work out. Hold on, I made a list. First thing I need to do is I need to brighten LED 8, which is this one red LED on the baby's head. It is much dimmer than the rest of them. I'm sure you probably noticed that. So I need to brighten that. I think what I need to do is I need to go onto the circuit board on the back of the thing, and that's where I have the LEDs and everything else wired up to it on another board. And I think I just need to lower the resistance of the resistor. I need to change it out for a lower resistor, I think, and I'll try that. But it's such a pain to get to, man. I mean, look at this crap. This is the mess that I'm working with on the back. This is how I have everything set up right now. I have some sort of organization, like, I don't know how well you can see it or not, but all these red and blacks are my LEDs, you know, and I have them all bunched up and organized and all that fun jazz. I had to screw in a few extra holes through the bottom to bring the wires out through to the circuit board on the front panel. I've used, like, there are a few times I've had to use screws just to keep my wires in place so they don't go all crazy, which I've also done here as well. But yeah, so fixing the LED 8 right here on the baby's head that's much dimmer than the rest of them, I need to go on the back here and find LED 8, which if I remember correctly, I think LED 8 is actually, yeah, it's this guy right here. This is LED 8. I need to follow him to the circuit, which should be, he's on the top here anywhere somewhere, but I need to go through there and switch out his friggin' resistor with a lower resistor. Maybe 1K. I think I have a 10K in there now. I don't know. Sorry if I'm not making any sense. So that's one thing. The next is that the switches do not turn off the LEDs or the steps as I had intended. And actually, sometimes they come a little loose. So you see, like, the 5th and the 7th, they don't always light up. They're a little touchy. I need to adjust the wires in the back. If I hold them down, I get all those LEDs going through. If I let go, you see I lost 7. Oh, no, I lost 5 and 7. Now I got 5 back, now I got 7 back. Oh, yeah, I lost 7 again. But yeah, so what I want to have happen, is whenever I flip these switches on, I want it to only light up the steps that I have activated, basically. So these switches, I have 8 switches up here, obviously, for all 8 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, basically what I want to do is have it so that when I turn off step 1, flip the switch, step 1, no longer a thing. It's not on. The LED doesn't turn on. The pod isn't functional. Well, actually, that's 3. The pod isn't functional. I just want to fix that, really. Also, speaking of the pots, they don't adjust the pitch at all, like I've seen in other videos. Now, I don't know if that's because the videos I saw, they were using 555 circuits alongside their 8-step sequencer, which I'm gonna have to try breadboarding next and see how that goes. Yeah, basically, that's just hold on, I gotta go back to my notes because I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, so the pots, they don't adjust the pitch, they only adjust the presence of the thing. So I think you'll notice, I'll plug it in again. Plug in my monotron delay. I don't know how well you can hear that, but... So I have, say I turn on step 8. Yeah, so see, it's adjusting the presence of it. Oh, never mind. I guess it's actually doing exactly what I want it to do. Ooh. Okay, I gotta stop playing with that. I could do it for hours. So anyway, so I guess I'll just scrap that whole bit, because I'm having too much fun with it, and I'm quite happy with it. I won't know for a fact, though, until I can plug something else into it. We'll see how that goes. The power switch is upside down, man. Okay, so being new to circuitry, one thing that's kind of started to confuse me, or has confused me from the beginning, was the single pole double throw switches, just this little 3-pin, like little, you know, on-off toggle switch, or on-off, on-off, on. Yeah, because the direction that you flip it is not going to be the same direction you solder it on. So, for example, hold on, I think I have one handy. Alright, so here's the switch, 3 little pins, on-off, right? So, obviously, your ground is going to be this middle pin right here. But let's say I want this to be the on position. So to flip on this way, I need to solder my positive lead to this leg on the opposite side of where it switches. Now, I don't know, I've never looked at like the inside of one of these, so I don't know exactly how it works. When you switch it this direction, it's got something on the I don't know, I think it... And I could explain this 100 different ways. Well, yeah, 100 different ways explaining the same thing, and it would just be confusing and annoying, and you would have to put up with it. And so would I. And I'm not ready for that kind of, conflict. Waste of time and space. Yeah, so anyway, so also we've got the, reset button is inaccessible due to pots 7 and 8. Sorry, pot 6 and 7. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah. So this right here is pot 6, step 6, pot 7, step 7. So when I had this toy, when I first got it and tore it apart, the initial toy had this little cool little slidey thing on the front. And what that does is when you slide it, it presses a little button in there that triggers one of the sounds that the toy played. So I just kind of took it off the circuit board that it was on, and I just kept the button in there with the switches, and I soldered it to my reset. So that way what I was going to do was I was going to have it so that whenever you slide this back and forth, or whenever you slide it one direction, it resets the sequence. It just goes back to 1. And it's same thing if you slide it the other direction. Just something fun to make it more like, you know, interactive and just fun to play with, and all these little doodads and stuff like that. Unfortunately, however, the pots that I have in the way are too friggin' bulbous and masculine and just bad for your health and your daughter that I can't move my slider around at all. I mean, I can, there's a little bit of leeway, but I don't want to push it too hard, because then I risk ruining the pots that I put in, and that's just... I had enough fun putting this thing together, and it's taken me well over a month of just coming back to it and trying to, like, figure out where I'm going to drill my holes and how I want my wire management to go, what little of it there is. Yeah, and that's, was that it? Oh yeah, LEDs need to be secured as well, which is just what I was telling you about earlier. You know, like, I just need to friggin' get back here and secure them better. So this is actually, just in case you want to know, in case this is helpful to anybody else, I have my LEDs they're in like these small LED holders, which are cool. They're really handy, they look really nice. Unfortunately, like, almost every LED that I put into it, they make some sort of contact with the metal of the holder itself, or something like that. It's gotta be that, because the only other piece that's in there is a little black, like, cylinder piece with 2 little holes that go down through it, and you just put the LED in there, and then, you know, it's supposed to stay secure. It gives you very little to no room to solder wires to it once it's in there, but I mean, it's in there. I just need to better organize and secure my leads on my LEDs and stuff like that. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for bearing with me. The sequencer is an incredible amount of fun. I've been having a lot of fun with it with the Monotron. I want to figure out how to plug some of my other instruments and bent instruments and friends. Some of them are friends, I guess. I don't know, into it. And yeah, and go from there and just kind of have fun with it. Figure out what's working and what isn't working, and fine-tune it. And if anybody who has built a sequencer can help me out in figuring out, like, how to implement it with my other instruments, all I have right here is the CV out. And I have things like my keyboard that I have a little output on. Well, I guess now that I said it, it makes sense you can't go output to output. Let's figure out how to put an input on these. But yeah, anyway, so no, the diagram I was following though didn't have an input, and I'll put a link to the diagram down below. It's been incredibly helpful. It's the only one that I've found to have been comprehensive at my level of circuitry, which is very beginner. And yeah, and I just went from there, and it's been good. It's been good stuff, and everything has been great. And yeah.